At 18 years old, he stepped onto the pitch and scored in his very first Champions League final. Just a teenager, facing the highest stakes in the history of club football. The world was watching. The cameras were recording every single breath. He did not freeze under the blinding lights. He did not hesitate against seasoned veterans. He simply buried the ball into the back of the net. And Barcelona looked at him and said, "Not good enough. We will get to that." But first, you need to understand just how impossible this story actually is. Scoring in a Champions League final is the absolute peak of the sport. It is the mountaintop. Veterans choke. Superstars disappear into the shadows. Most professionals play their entire careers, run thousands of miles, sacrifice their bodies, and never even see the stadium tunnel of a final match. He never. This was not a tap-in during a meaningless preseason tour. This was not a friendly match against a lower division side. The stakes were absolute. The pressure was entirely suffocating. Cristiano Ronaldo was 23 years old when he scored his first goal in a Champions League final. Lionel Messi was 21 years old. This kid did it with zero European tournament experience, carrying the immense, crushing weight of a legendary crest on his chest. He was born in Taguatinga, a satellite city outside the capital of Brazil. Concrete streets, empty dirt lots, dust, and suffocating heat. He did not start playing because he was destined for a glamorous life of luxury cars and massive contracts. Hunger. He played because his family had absolutely nothing. His father could not afford basic food for the table. His father stood on the sidelines recording grainy, low-quality videos of his son's youth matches on a cheap phone. He uploaded them to YouTube just to beg professional clubs for a basic meal, survival. Nothing was handed to this boy. Every single touch of the ball, every sprint across the dirt, every goal scored was a literal fight to stay alive. Football was not a game to him. It was a brutal mathematical equation for a way out of extreme poverty. The scouts came. The scouts watched. Clubs wanted a finished product, demanding a guaranteed return on their massive financial investments. Barcelona saw the tapes. They saw the speed. They saw the raw, unpolished talent. They rejected him at age 14. They said he was too expensive for a teenager. And they said the financial risk was far too high to take a chance on an unproven kid from the unpredictable dirt pitches of Brazil. Ignored. Every major European club kept scrolling past his name. The elite academies looked the other way. The system sent him a message that was entirely clear and absolutely brutal. You are not good enough for us. Rejected. So he put his head down. He went into the dark. He went to work. He joined Palmeiras. He stepped onto the pitch for the youth ranks and started systematically dismantling older, bigger, stronger defensive lines. Unstoppable. He scored 165 goals in 169 games for the academy. Trophies piled up on the shelves. Records shattered one by one. And nobody outside the local Brazilian youth circuits cared. Nobody in Europe watched the tape. The brutal reality is that the gap between a Brazilian academy tournament and the manicured grass of the Santiago Bernabéu is 1,000,000 miles. 1,000,000 miles of politics, money, corruption, and pure, blind luck. Most talented kids disappear forever in that massive gap. Forgotten. He signs the contract. He steps up. He turns professional. He moves to the senior team. And suddenly, the goals stop completely. He goes 10 consecutive matches without scoring a single goal. The local media turns on him instantly. Doubters line up on every television network and internet podcast. Critics dissect every single touch, every missed pass, every dropped shoulder. Maybe he really is just another hyped-up academy kid who cannot handle grown men. Maybe leaving everything behind was the bravest, stupid thing anyone has ever done. He is a teenager carrying the heavy expectations of an entire country, and he is failing on live television, alone. But then you look at what Cristiano Ronaldo says about talent and survival. Talent without working hard is nothing. If you think you're perfect already, then you never will be. Ronaldo knew that the pressure breaks the weak. He knew that the hate makes you unstoppable if you know exactly how to channel it. This player took the doubt. He absorbed the suffocating pressure of a nation. He did not break under the weight of his own price tag. Before we go any further into the timeline, drop it in the comments right now. Did you see this kid surviving the hype, or did you write him off like everyone else? I need to know. June 1st, 2024, Wembley Stadium, London. The score is tight. The stadium atmosphere is thick and entirely suffocating. The biggest stage in world football. He steps onto the grass in the final minutes. At 18 years old, he finds the pocket of space. He strikes the ball. He scores. He scored in his first Champions League final at age 18. At the 2008 final in Moscow, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a towering header at age 23 to announce his permanent arrival to the world. That is the exact same magnitude of arrival Endrick just achieved. If Endrick had been alive and walking during that Moscow final, he would have been exactly 2 years old. There is one more thing that needs to be said directly. In over 70 years of modern European football, hide across decades of the absolute highest level of competition, nobody has ever carried this much early hype, survived this much organized doubt, and delivered on the ultimate stage so early. No one. Not a single player in history. He scored in his first Champions League final at age 18. Right after the match ended, the cameras found him on the pitch. The stadium was roaring. His response was not arrogance. It was pure survival. I always believed, even when nobody else did. To earn the right to say those exact words, he had to pay a massive, painful personal price. He left his family in Brazil at age 16. He moved across the Atlantic Ocean to Madrid, completely alone. He gave up his childhood. He gave up the warmth and comfort of his home country. He traded his teenage years for a locker room full of grown men who fully expected him to fail. He paid the price in sweat, in severe isolation, and in absolute silence. Sacrifice. Now the timeline accelerates. The stakes rise again to a terrifying level. The World Cup 2026 is rapidly approaching. He is currently on track to become Brazil's youngest ever starter on the global stage. The kid that Barcelona rejected at 14 is now carrying the heavy hopes of the most demanding football nation on earth. Everything is on the line. The pressure will only multiply from here. World Cup 2026. Endrick makes the starting 11 for Brazil. The whistle blows. Does Endrick win the Ballon d'Or before age 23? Drop it below. Every single comment gets read.